Us for a weekly chat we call Good Policies. Listeners Mike, together with his wife and a fabulous crew, own and they operate Barrett Insurance Agency on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. Mike, as we continue to social distance, good to have you on the line with us.
Nice to be here. Somewhat, kind of, sort of, virtually.
No,
Yes.
you are. I think you spent more time in this room than I did, but anyway. Last week,
Back in the day.
yeah, last week, for some of our listeners that weren't tuned in, you made the big announcement that thanks to restrictions being lifted here by Governor Phil Scott, you guys are now back and physically opened on Portland Street.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. As of Tuesday last week, not Monday because Monday was Memorial Day, but as of Tuesday last week, we officially turned the lock and opened the door. So we are open to the public and following the guidance, making sure that we're keeping a proper social distance and have masks available for our staff to wear so that if somebody does come in, we can quickly be properly protected and keep everybody safe and secure. But we still do ask that if you need to come to the office, we ask that it be for a good reason, not necessarily just a social visit. Don't get me wrong. We want to see you. We want to be able to chat and say hi. But we still want to make sure we're being somewhat cautious through this process. So while we are open, we do ask that if it's something that you can maybe transact virtually, maybe that be the first choice versus coming in for now, not permanently. Please, we'd love to have you in. But this morning, what I thought, Jeff, we would talk about is the importance. I think I hit on it a little bit last week, and it got me thinking just how easy it is to forget these things, how important it is to keep your insurance policies up to date with your contact information. Some people move without letting us know. Some people change their phone numbers without letting us know, change email addresses, change methods of communication preferences. And that can really strongly disable us in terms of properly working with you and facilitating your insurance needs. So I really wanted just to point out that is just such a key thing to do with making sure that we're servicing you properly for what's going on. So something as simple as an address change. Even if you're an additional insured on a policy, maybe your mom and dad have a life lease and you are listed as an additional insured because you're on the deed for the property. Even that would warrant a necessity to update us of the address that we need to be sending proof of insurance to. And, of course, any failed mailing we get, we certainly do our due diligence to make sure we're staying up to date and getting that information. But anything you can do to be proactive in that regard certainly can be beneficial in the long run.
Mike, I have been chatting with some folks out and about who they couldn't collect unemployment benefits because they were retired or something like that. And a lot of folks are taking on some driving jobs, like whether it's to get groceries to folks that can't get out or don't want to get out, to, like operating not so much Uber and Lyft, but, some of the local communication transport companies. They need to think about this when it comes to their insurance too, don't they?
They certainly do. Through the COVID-19 pandemic, almost all insurance companies have lifted, which was interesting. They lifted a restriction that I don't think a lot of people really knew about. And what that is that driving your vehicle for compensation. So let's say you're driving your vehicle in the capacity of Uber or Lyft. Do you realize that most insurance companies are going to exclude that? And they will continue to. That has not changed through the COVID-19. Let's go to food delivery. Do you know that if you take a delivery job for any of the local establishments that have the signs that you put on your car, you could be having some coverage gaps if something was to occur through the process of you making a delivery. That's because insurance companies don't cover that. Now, they have temporarily, lifted that exclusion through the COVID-19 because many restaurants have added food delivery so that they can stay afloat. So that was kind of a courtesy thing that will not be lasting forever. So when you do take on a position where you are getting compensation for driving your vehicle, that certainly warrants a dialogue with your insurance carrier, certainly warrants a dialogue with your insurance agent to make sure that you are in appropriate guidance and make sure you have the appropriate policy, because the worst time, I haven't said this in a while, have we? The worst time to find out how good your insurance policy is when a claim occurs. So let's think for a second that you are driving in the capacity of a delivery person for a restaurant pre-COVID-19, before those restrictions were temporarily lifted. If you got in an accident, that would be when you would find out if your insurance company would have grounds to exclude coverage because you were doing something that was not allowed by the policy in which you have.
So every change, every life change, whether it's your contact information, employment, marital status, what have you, contact your insurance agency. Something you haven't said in a while. Have the conversation.
Definitely. You have to. If you are getting creative in these times and deciding to do a home-based business, that's one that actually we see a lot, where people have decided to have a home office, or maybe have decided to get chickens and are now selling eggs, or maybe are doing something and making a product and selling it out of the household. That's something as well that would definitely warrant a discussion to make sure that you are properly protected. I think we've mentioned a few times in the past that if you have chickens and you're selling eggs, you are now getting paid for a product. And if that product is causing harm to somebody, salmonella poisoning, what have you, you are now legally liable to that individual when they file that claim for those damages. The next question is, are you covered? That's a big question that you need to know the answer to before anything would happen.
All right, Mike. You got to head into the office. I know you got some work to do with Ethan here, but tell folks how they can get in touch with you for all of their insurance needs, okay?
Absolutely. You can find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. You can give us a call at 748-5224. We are online at thebarrettagency.com. That is also where you can do a free online home or auto quote if you're shopping and just want to see what the rates are. We have plenty of companies for you to take a look at there. Plus, we're on Google, YouTube, and Facebook as Barrett Insurance Agency.
And again, open on Portland Street in St. Jay. Mike, thanks an awful lot. Get that coffee going. Enjoy the day, and we'll chat next week with more good policies.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Be well.
All right, folks. Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency in St. Johnsbury. Lord is on our playlist. Also music from Dan and Shay.